Good morning, everybody, and welcome to a Saturday episode of the Degenerate Simulators podcast. I'm your host, Jordan. As you can see, very odd location. I'm actually in Kendall, Florida for a wedding here in the business center at my hotel. So, apologize for lack of quality today. I did notice the intro looked a little weird. If you guys are watching on YouTube, for some reason, Streamlabs on MacBook is really bad. The scaling is really hard to figure out, so I'm just rolling with it. But yeah, pretty disappointing Friday. Came close on a lot of stuff, but just fell short. So we did have a 2-bet baseball parlay, which I made official on Instagram. Actually, everything was official on Instagram today. I don't have an episode. The Pittsburgh Pirates do cover. They win 4-3 against the Marlins, but the Baltimore Orioles, they lose 2-8, which is a little surprising because they won 12-2 yesterday. So, hey, tough to see there. And if you guys missed it, we did actually do a pretty fun anytime goal scorer parlay for the NHL. We get 3 out of 5 of those correct. We only put half a unit on that, but Sam Reinhart and Jack Eichel do not score. Not too surprised about the Sam Reinhart one because Florida only scored twice. The Jack Eichel, I'm a little surprised because Vegas scored 5 goals. I'm surprised he didn't get on the score sheet. And then last but not least, we did take Florida Panthers minus 1.5. I actually did I put a bet to win 2 units back on that one. That one falls through. So, pretty unfortunate day. We go down 3.5. Yes, 3.5 units. I don't really care anymore. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just looking forward to the next day. Sorry if you heard my Discord go off. I don't use this MacBook too often. I'm not gonna lie, so I don't know how to turn any of those sounds off. But we're gonna keep it rolling. Kind of same situation as the end of last month. It's gonna be kind of hard to overcome the deficit we're in currently. So I think we're just gonna try and set up a run here to start off April pretty hot. So I have four picks, I think. I have them in my notes here, so we'll count them up at the end and see where we're at. But yes, 4 plays. Sorry. So I'm gonna kick things off in the NBA. We're looking at the Pacers at the Thunder. This is just a nightmare of a road matchup for the Pacers. They have a really good offense, but they're going against the second best defense in the league. And like I said, they do have a good offense, but OKC actually has a better offense. I believe Indiana ranks number 7, and OKC is up at number 4. Important to note, Indiana is coming off a 162-point performance against Washington. However, it's the Wizards. And like I said, this is just a tough road matchup going to OKC against the second best defense in the league. I think OKC comes out early offensively, but also kind of bottlenecks Indiana right out the gate. And I think that first quarter is going to be very crucial here. I think that's going to be our kind of deciding factor. If they can hold them pretty low in the first quarter and Indiana is just playing catch-up for the rest of the game, I definitely think we should be good here. Indiana has been having some high-scoring games outside of the Washington Wizards game with the 162. But the line I found at minus 125 is 115.5 points. It's pretty high going against the second best defense in the league. I do think this might be inflated due to their last game, like I mentioned, in Washington. But yeah, they met once already. This last game was in Indiana, and Indiana only put up 114 points, so they also fell short at home. Can't imagine what's going to happen in this OKC environment for them. What else? There's something else I want to talk about this game. Benedict Mathurin is going to be out. Not like a super crazy high volume score or anything like that, but definitely a good contributor for this team. So I think that can definitely have an effect on that as well. So first pick of the night, we're going Indiana Pacers under 115.5 points for 1.25 units. Let me close my Discord really quick because it keeps making noises. All right, got it. Moving on. Another game. Hold up. Sorry. All right, so we're looking at the Mavericks going on the road to face the Chicago Bulls. Josh Giddey, of all players, he has actually been on fire. No other way to describe it. But I think his player props are getting pretty inflated because of this. Like I said, inflated number, but he has been balling out, so it is understandable. But a lot of these high output games have been against some pretty bad defenses and some undersized teams. For example, most notably his last game against the Lakers where he hit a half-court game-winning shot. He finished with 50 PRA, I believe. Yes, that was the game. But as we know, LA is very undersized, and LA does have a lot of holes defensively. And he also hit this number again against Denver. But this was a Denver team without Jokic, missing a lot of size there. And just they also do have a lot of defensive problems as we've seen throughout the season. They kind of been getting bailed out by their offense. However, funnily enough, in their last 3 games, the Dallas Mavericks are actually a top 10 defense in terms of points per game. I think they're ranked number 7 in their last 3 games. It's kind of a small sample size, but do what you want with that information. And also important to know, Anthony Davis is looking like he is going to be suiting up for this game. So they do have some more size there. He's definitely a rebound chaser for sure. And I know we did bet on the Mavericks last game against the Magic. Actually, I think they played a game after that. I believe so. Don't quote me on that. But our bet didn't hit there. But I was kind of surprised. The Mavericks actually ended up winning that game outright. And they kind of made it a very physical game. It was very low scoring. And they made it hard for Orlando to get a shot, it seemed, due to that low score. They made it very physical. So if we see kind of the same grindy type of game, I do think it is going to be hard for Josh Giddey to get going, especially hitting 42.5 points, assists, rebounds. This was like a line we saw Luka Doncic getting when he first came to LA, which is kind of crazy to see. We don't really play unders that much, especially with player props, so this should be fun. In summary, I think he's just kind of playing above his means, and as long as the Mavericks do what they did against Orlando, I think it should be a pretty easy under for us here. So, second pick of the night, we're going Josh Giddey under 42.5 points, assists, rebounds for 1.1 units. And sorry guys, moving to the NHL. I try my best to have Daniel on tonight. Like I said, Streamlabs is very difficult to navigate on MacBook, so I couldn't figure out how to get it to record my screen as hard as I tried. But he did give me a pick. We did speak right before this episode, so I got some knowledge from him. We're looking at the Islanders going to Tampa to take on the Lightning. In Daniel's words, he said, Islanders are the Utah Hockey Club of the East. Do what you want with that. We actually did play their last meeting back in February. I believe we did take... It was either Lightning money line or Lightning minus 1.5, but I believe the Islanders actually won this game outright. And speaking of that, Tampa has been having a lot of rematches, of teams that they lost to this past month, and they've been winning. They've been winning pretty easily, it seems. Their last game they did just beat Utah 8-0. Funnily enough, Utah actually outshot them that game, so I think as long as they're giving themselves good chances like they were in that game, this should be a very easy clear for them. Also important to note, Tampa leads in all major stat categories according to NHL Edge, I believe was what Daniel told me, except skating distance and face-off percentage. Okay. Should be a pretty easy win for Tampa. They've been looking really good. And they are coming off back-to-back wins as well, as I believe, while the Islanders have lost 3 in a row. So, for the NHL pick of the day, we're going Tampa minus 1.5, and that is for 1 unit even. And we do have a nice little UFC fight night. I believe this is UFC Mexico. Is it? I don't even know where it is, but pretty good card. I might dive more into it tomorrow, or in the morning, I should say, as it is midnight here in Kendall. So I'm looking at the co-main event and the main event particularly. I like Joe Pyfer a lot. He's been looking good in his last few outings, and he's facing a kind of getting older Kelvin Gastelum. The thing with Kelvin Gastelum, kind of the same thing with Kevin Holland. I just don't think he's built for middleweight. Dude just likes to eat too much. He lacks a lot of reach, a lot of height. I think a win here just does a lot more for Joe Pyfer than Kelvin Gastelum. Don't get me wrong, Kelvin Gastelum, he has put on some great fights at middleweight, but this sport just keeps evolving at a crazy rate. I think Joe Pyfer gets it done. Like I said, I think he needs it more. Joe Pyfer is a minus 325 though, so we are going to be doing a 2-leg parlay here. We are looking at the main event, Brandon Moreno versus Steve Erceg. I have a short list of fighters. If they're fighting, I cannot miss it. and Brandon Moreno is one of them. I think the flyweight division catches a lot of flack. Given that they lack so much power, they make up for that in skill. 100%. Argue with the wall if you disagree. Don't care. But yeah, I kind of feel bad for Steve Erceg because he is a very entertaining fighter and he actually does have knockout power at flyweight division, which not many people can boast. But yeah, I think they just threw him in kind of the spotlight way too quick. It makes sense, the flyweight division isn't too deep, but I think he definitely could have had a couple more fights before facing Pantoja, and it kind of puts him in a weird scenario like this where now he's fighting Brandon Moreno. After he lost to Pantoja and after he got knocked out by Kai Kara France, I mean, I feel for the guy. I do, but I just think Brandon Moreno is better in all aspects. Much more of a complete fighter. Steve Erceg is definitely, a lot more boxing heavy. But, he just got knocked out by Kai Kara France, and who's beaten Kai Kara France? Brandon Moreno. And, he did that in pretty impressive fashion, if you ask me. So I think it should be a pretty easy win for Brandon Moreno. And if you guys did watch his last fight against Almir Albazi, he looked great. If he even just improved a little bit from that fight, I truly do think he is going to be unstoppable heading into tomorrow night. So to cap off this little two-leg parlay, we're going to take Brandon Moreno money line, which is at minus 240. Parlay these two together. On Hard Rock for me, it's minus 117. I'm going to round it up to minus 120. We're going to put 1.2 units on it. There are some other good fights. I know Raul Rosas Jr. is also fighting, and a couple other names. So I'm going to take a look at that. Might make some more stuff official. Because I think we do have... Yeah, the Lightning game is a little early in the day. It's at 2 p.m. So if that one clears, we might have some extra money to play with. So we'll see. But that's going to do it for me tonight. I'm going to kick things into the recap really quick. First up, we have the Lightning minus 1.5 as they take on the Islanders at for 1 unit, sorry. Under 115.5 team total points for the Indiana Pacers as they take on OKC. Under 42.5 points, assist, rebounds for Josh Giddey as the Bulls take on the Mavericks. And to cap things off for right now, we are doing Joe Pyfer money line and Brandon Moreno money line for UFC's action tomorrow. Just a couple things. If you guys aren't following us on Instagram already, please do. Links are in the descriptions of whether you're watching on YouTube or Spotify. If you guys haven't already, or if you guys haven't watched our last episode, we do have an affiliate partnership with Pickle. Very cool platform. Very good for bet tracking. Also cool social media aspect to sports betting. You can copy and paste bets from other people on your own sports books. Track all your bets. You can track it. Percentage on money returned, unit sizing, dollar amount, however you'd like. And you can also get a lot of expected value estimations to see if your bets are actually worth the money. And plenty of other tools. They have so much to offer. You guys just really have to check it out for yourselves. If you guys use our link, which I mentioned will be down below, you guys get a guaranteed $3 just money. It's not even like a bonus bet. You can use it for whatever. And you also do get a 1 in 100 chance to win $100, just cash sent straight to your Venmo or PayPal. Like I said, $100 parlay or 100 large French fries from McDonald's. Choice is yours. Thank you guys for watching. I will try my best to have an episode out for Sunday. But like I said, I'm at a wedding, so I'm not really sure how late I'm gonna be out tonight. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.